Hello, friends. Welcome to Two Gals in a Book podcast. I'm Araceli. This is Lily. And today we will be talking about Our Last Resort by.
Clémence Michallon.
So remember that in this podcast, we go page by page, we skip a few. And the whole point is to learn a little bit about us and hopefully a little bit about you. One of the other things that these books take us on is on adventures, right? And today we are at this undisclosed location. And
You don't need to know
later
where.
on, later on, you might figure out why we're here. We like to tie in the place to the book, and if you can't figure it out, eventually we'll let you know.
Yes.
So let's get started, Lily.
All right. So Our Last Resort is about two siblings that go through a traumatic event. In their childhood, they
Mm-hmm.
were born into a cult. They escape this cult, and as their lives go on as adults, they come up with different not come up with different, but they start unraveling some secrets.
Mm-hmm.
They are in this new world for them, and they are having to make some difficult choices in order to survive this world. So, um, just the title alone, Our Last Resort, we can unpack a lot there. So, and reading what it was about, you think they actually meet up at a luxury desert resort in Arizona.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In Arizona, they reunite after so many years of being apart, even though they had been in contact for most of their adult life. But so reading this, like, oh, they come together at this resort, right? But
Let's remember they're here because they're going to be interviewed for a podcast,
yes,
actually. So they
for a
were,
documentary.
yeah,
Yes.
they were part of a cult,
Mm-hmm.
and so they decided to be
Mm-hmm.
allow this interview to take place, and so they're meeting here. And like Lily said, there's a double meaning to the title,
There
right?
is.
We
Mm-hmm.
also learn what people do when they have no other recourse left or
Mm-hmm.
in any other resort, right?
And that's what happens here
Yeah.
in two instances. What is their last resort,
Hmm.
right? For survival, really.
Yes, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
the book jumps from present to
Mm-hmm.
past. So in the present, they're at the resort. And in the past, we see how their lives were in this cult and how they got out.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning pages, I start on page 22, Lily.
Oh, okay.
You start a bit earlier, so I'll let you.
No.
The
Oh
same
my
page.
the same
Here
page?
we go. Right off the bat.
Yes.
So while you check your notes, I
Mhm.
wanted to read this quote from
Mhm.
page 22. This is what time does. It warps people, turns them into half strangers. So just like Lily told you, they haven't seen each other in
Mhm.
years. And although they've kind of been in touch, they haven't been
Mhm.
in touch in the way that matters. So yes, it's true. Time does change us. Time is warped. So why
Mhm.
would we think that we wouldn't be warped
Yeah.
with it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I guess one of the things we learned from the beginning is like, let's stay in touch with the people we care about,
Yeah. Mhm.
because if we let time go by,
Mhm.
that relationship changes
Mhm.
to the point here where they feel like they're strangers, even
Yeah,
though they considered each other brother
they
and
did.
sister.
And we know that they are
Mm-hmm.
not. We know off the bat that
Mm-hmm.
they are not brother and sister, but to them, that's
Mm-hmm.
who they know of each other when they were in this cult. And like you said, I just wrote here, passage of time is inevitable. We change. Um, And do we change so much that we are strangers to each other if you don't keep in touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does time happen to us, or is it shaped by our choices?
It's a little bit of everything, a little
Yeah,
bit
I
of
think
both. I
so.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And people change whether we want to or not, right?
Yeah, that's
We
true.
can dye our hair to hide how old we are,
Yes.
but at the end, we are still that age.
Yes.
So,
Time is passing by whether we want to
yeah,
accept
it's
it
gonna
or not.
happen.
Yes.
So let's do it gracefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny that we came up with the same
Right
same
from the
thing.
start, right?
Yeah, and that's where it starts. They're in Escalante, Utah?
They're in Utah. I don't
They're in
remember the name
Utah.
of
I
the
don't know
town,
why
but
I thought
yes,
they was in
Utah.
Arizona.
No, it was
It was
Utah.
Utah. I don't know why I said.
Well, Utah, now you're making me wonder.
Hmm.
Utah's where the resort is at.
Yeah.
Where was
What's
the cult?
Arizona? In
Maybe
Arizona.
the cult is in Arizona,
You're
where they
right.
lived before. Yes.
Or not. I don't know. We'll
Forgive
see.
us, dear reader. We read a lot of books. That's kind of what we do in
Yeah.
life. So sometimes,
It just
they get
things
kind of
just merge.
intertwined.
Mhm.
Um, what page are you
Oh,
on?
this one doesn't
It
have
does
any.
say Escalante, Utah, so you are right. You're on. Are you here?
42.
No, not there.
Oh. Oh, so
I don't
no.
know.
What page is that?
I'm on 37, but I'm
Okay,
trying to figure out where you're
so
at. You're on 25.
25. This is just my notes. And so they are at this resort, right? They're there for 7
Mm,
nights and they come across this couple, Sabrina and William. William is an older man, wealthy, it appears. Like, and Sabrina is his wife, younger, maybe late
mhm,
20s, right?
mhm,
And she stands out because she's beautiful, great body.
mhm,
And page 25, she is found dead.
mhm.
She is
Yeah.
found dead. And so that's where we start that pretty much it goes back and forth with who the suspects are. And of course, they say it's always a husband, right?
Mhm,
William is the first one that gets interviewed
mhm,
or taken in as a person of interest.
mhm,
So we know there is a death in this resort already, and this is day 5 for
mhm,
them.
mhm.
So they mention in the chapters, they mention what day they are in because that's important,
Yeah.
right? Because it does
Mhm.
go back and say, okay, on this day, this is what happened, and we'll get there. So yes, that was my notes that she is found
Okay.
dead at this point.
Yeah, from the beginning, we know
Mm-hmm.
that there's the murder mystery part that Lily likes.
And yes, dun dun dun, someone died.
So I think it's still you, Lily,
Still
your
me.
next post-it.
My next posted is
Actually, no.
page. No, it's still you.
So
I'm 42.
37. So
Mm-hmm.
on this is chapter 7
Mm,
already. We go back 23 years ago. And
mm,
on page 37, there's a description of a cult, and I was wondering if it was Waco.
mm,
Um, because of how it's described. They talk about they talk about Emil. I'm just going to read to you. Emil is the founder of this
mm,
cult. He's obviously a fictitious character, and he took over this compound. Um, and no, it is mentioned here. After Waco happened, that made the optics of kicking people out trickier than the logistics. So he basically moved into this building, and then they couldn't get rid of him. And so this is where he begins his cult. So this is the paradise. And I believe the narrator is being a bit,
mm,
bit sarcastic, right? In which she was born. She says that every morning began with a lecture,
mm,
that it was Emil that spoke to
mm,
the group, and that's in one of those lectures, that's where she met her the man that she now considers her brother,
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
And they were how old at this point? They were like 8 years old,
Yes.
right? They
Hmm.
were.
She
Mm-hmm.
says they weren't friends, so it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting that they didn't know each other well, despite living in this situation where they didn't really
Yeah.
get out. So it makes you wonder how big was this group if
Right.
they didn't really know each other. She also at this point mentions Edwina, who will be an important character throughout the story.
Mm-hmm.
She was around their age. She was very devout. She was 14,
Mm-hmm.
um, so maybe a bit older. And she was a true believer, the narrator calls her. The narrator, by the way, the narrator is Frida,
Mm-hmm.
our protagonist
Frida.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, we might as well show you. Why not? We're excited.
so we're drinking
So we're
wine.
drinking wine, and it's called Frida. This is another Frida Kahlo, but hey,
But you know what? There
wine is
was
wine, and Frida's Frida.
yeah, and we honestly we didn't plan this. Is what
Yes.
was there.
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Wait, what?"
Yes.
So here we are.
So cheers, dear reader. Hmm.
Cheers to Clémence Michallon.
Yes. So that's where we're at. We're getting an introduction to this
Yeah.
cult and what a morning looked like at this place in the Hudson Valley is where we're at. Moving along.
And this is
Um,
where they met for the very
yes.
first time and
Yes.
became
And
because
let's
they got in
remember.
trouble together for
Yes.
laughing
Yes.
at Emile
At one of his,
speaking his
and we'll see that a little bit further down.
yeah.
But
Oh, I thought it
again,
was here.
no, I don't think it was here. Or maybe it was. I don't know. But let's remember, she wasn't born in this cult.
They were
So
both
she's
born there.
yes, they've never left. This is all they know.
The only tongue we knew, it says right here.
Ah, yeah, on chapter 7. Yes, Hudson Valley.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's you, Lily, for
It's
a
me on
while.
page 42. So it takes us back to the fifth. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
they just existed. So and it goes back and because she's reminiscing and it says, in Emil's world, we were just us.
Mm-hmm.
Something that mattered more than any of the concepts that tied our universe together. Brighter than everything else. So I just wrote that was his way to control them, I think, just to
Mm-hmm.
say this is us. We are important.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the only one ever the one not allowed to, but he only let himself be the one to go out into the outside.
Mm-hmm.
He would be the one to travel. He would be the
Yeah.
one to go shopping. Nobody else knew about that. So right there, they just existed, contained in isolation. They didn't know their parents.
Mm-hmm. No, they didn't know who their biological parents were.
Mm-mm.
There were moms.
They were the
He was like
mothers.
the dad,
Mm-hmm.
and then the children. And just to clarify, when Lily said the outside, so there's the
Mm-hmm.
outside, like where we're at now,
Yeah.
right? The outdoors. Outside meant leaving the
Leaving.
compound.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which they wouldn't. They just
Mm-hmm.
knew to stay there because that's all they knew.
Mm-hmm.
So Emil was the only one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it said, before that, in the outside world, later I'd say brother, he'd say sister, but we hadn't been taught to think that way. We hadn't grown up with the words of a family, of infatuation or marriage, or of marriage, of reproduction. They were just, that's who
Mm-hmm.
they were.
Mm-hmm.
How sad.
That is really sad. Mm-hmm.
But to them, that's all they knew. So was it sad for them? Right?
It's
That's
true.
just,
Yeah, when you're isolated, and
mm-hmm,
I guess that's the psychology of a cult, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, didn't you say, Lily, that you researched the amount of cults in the
Yes,
United States?
currently 10,000, right, Richard? About 10,000 cults in the US right
That's a
now.
lot of cults.
That is a lot. And in varying sizes, I'm
That's like
assuming. Like,
another podcast.
that is a
Yeah, I mean, if we had to talk about
scary
all the cults.
podcast.
But this is what we
Yeah.
like about discussing books, right? Dear reader, you can go and fall into that rabbit hole
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
want to find out about all these cults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
It's
yeah, no,
very,
that's still me. Okay.
yes,
So
yeah.
um so when they were 15, because they each had chores, they had jobs, they had to
Mm-hmm.
clean the cafeteria, they had to
Mm-hmm.
do the outside work. I think Gabriel would do some carpentry. He knew how to do woodwork stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so at one point, and because they became good friends, because they got in trouble at this point, they were in
Mm-hmm.
trouble for giggling when Emil was talking
Mm-hmm.
nonsense, but they had to listen to him, and they were giggling and laughing. And so one of the mothers took them into this broom closet, and they had to stay there as punishment. So that's where they became friends.
That was like their bonding
That's where,
experience, being cooped up in a closet as punishment.
yeah. And so he gave her something. She said, on the day I turned 15, Gabriel brought me a little F carved out of wood. From woodworking, he said. I turned it over in my hand. The shape was blunt, the bottom bar tilted at an odd angle, but it was the first birthday present I'd ever received. Thank you, by which I meant, this means the world to me. So that took me
Mm-hmm.
to do some research, right? And so at 15, she's receiving this little F for her initial, right? And that meant the world to her. And so I took it as, this is the first thing she actually owned for herself. Almost like identity in a place where there's no individuality or
Mm-hmm.
independence. So it meant a lot for her. And that took me into researching about birthday gifts. And where did the birthday gift giving begin? So in ancient Egypt, historians believe that the earliest birthday celebrations weren't for ordinary people. They were for pharaohs. On their way to coronation, it is seen as their rebirth as a god.
Mm-hmm.
That's ancient Egypt. In ancient Greece, the Greeks brought us something more recognizable. They baked round cakes to honor Artemis,
Artemis?
Artemis, goddess of the moon. The candles were added to make it glow like the moon. And people believed smoke carried prayers to the gods.
Our smoke is dying, Richard.
Oh, we need these prayers to go to the god. Gifts and candles were meant to ward off evil spirits, because people believed you were vulnerable on your birthday.
Oh.
In ancient Rome, Romans were the first to celebrate birthdays for politicians, elite men, later common male citizens.
Oh,
Just the men.
just a minute.
And so when did it become to what we know now? In 18th century Germany, a tradition called Kinderfest celebrated children's birthdays with cakes, candles, and small gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously the US ran with it.
Yeah, right. And now it's getting commercialized.
Very commercialized, not just for children, for adults too, right? So it's a thing. You give someone a gift for their birthday. It's like, but why?
Yeah. All you did was be born.
Yeah, you're getting older, right?
Yeah.
But and as I was researching different countries, There's some countries that to them it's more about a social gathering
Mhm.
for a birthday than gifts.
Mhm.
It's about the blessing received, not just the gifts. So I think we're the ones that make it
Mhm.
more about gifts.
You
I
know,
think.
I'd like to revisit something you said earlier,
Mm.
Lee, about, community versus cult, right?
Mhm.
And individuality. Like, a community is important, and you
For
know,
sure.
acts to help others.
Mhm.
But and I didn't think about this until you
Mm.
mentioned it now, but
Mm.
I mean, I think I'm going to do a little digging into what is the difference, right,
Mhm.
between being part of a cult and and being part of a community. But just, if we're throwing out some ideas,
Mhm.
like, I think it's very important to respect people's individuality.
Yeah.
And a cult definitely does not do
No.
that, and
Mm-mm.
community does not take that away from you.
Mhm.
Like, they are not contradictory, right? You can be in community and still be an individual.
Correct.
Whereas the cult aspires to take that from you in order to keep you,
Psychological
right?
control.
Yeah. I mean, we're not psychologists, but
No.
we just kind of
But it's
took what.
from we hear
Yeah.
what cults are, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no positive
Hmm.
anything
Yeah.
that comes from it. So,
Hmm.
I mean, if you're in one and if you think it's helpful, then let us know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, yeah. Yeah. Find help, please. Yes.
get out
Yes. Yes.
now. So they're
Um,
15 at this point,
yeah.
and it's her birthday, and that's all she got. And that's all she's ever
Hmm.
known. And she's very, very grateful for that one little wooden carved F.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
that should be something. It shouldn't be about gifts. It should be like that genuinely meant a
Hmm.
lot for her
Hmm.
because it came from the heart. He didn't have to do that. And they didn't know anything about gifts,
And he
right?
had to get creative, right? Like, with what he had available to
Mhm.
him.
Mhm.
He can't just go shopping and buy
Mhm.
something. It's like, what can you make?
Because
Sometimes those are the special gifts, right?
exactly,
The
exactly.
ones that are made especially for you.
Because there's time
Mhm.
invested in it, right?
Mhm.
And but what else was I gonna say? So money, they didn't know anything about money either,
That's true. That's true.
right? Because at
Mhm.
this point, I don't know, has she already snuck into Emil's office and started stealing money?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, she does, and we'll
She
get there.
keeps getting ahead, yes.
I'm sorry. The other one wasn't ahead. It actually
Yeah.
was. That's where they met. Okay,
It's
me,
still
you,
you. No,
still
it's
me.
still you. I'm, like, on page 105. Or maybe
Oh
not.
no, you're me.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, you mentioned money. Frida becomes Emil's assistant. She discovers that she enjoys numbers. So she is kind of
Hmm.
like his accountant.
But do you
She
remember why? How she becomes that?
um Remind us, Lily.
Because she gets caught stealing
Stealing the money.
money.
So I guess she wasn't off off the timeline then.
But I don't remember how she went into his office in the middle of
Yeah.
the night when everybody's sleeping, and she goes in there and finds a box on his desk, and she's rummaging through it
Hmm.
and finds coins and money
Let's play this game, Lily. Do you remember why she wants the money?
to go to the outside, right?
What does she want to do in the outside
I
outside?
don't
Well, I
know.
remember. See?
What? Tell me.
Oops.
Oops.
I got too excited, dear reader. Gabriel got sick, and she wanted to get him
Yes.
just pain relievers. Yeah,
Medicine.
medicine, just like,
Mhm.
acetaminophen or ibuprofen or
Ibuprofen, yeah.
something that would. She was scared. She was worried about him
Yeah.
because they didn't have any medicine there. So that's what she wanted the money
And
for.
she didn't know what was
Yeah.
wrong with him because in
Yeah.
the cafeteria, he just was very pale, very sick.
Hmm.
Um, and so we learn in early on that he gets migraines.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
that's
right.
true.
We do
Yeah.
like big time migraines. And
Hmm.
as a teenager, he was getting this and she wanted to help her
Hmm.
brother. So I guess she did know about money, but wanted to
Yeah.
go and steal some. And she found some bills and coins
And I
and
guess we could say, like, there's a couple of holes here and there in the story, like,
there are,
right? So
yeah.
now that Lily mentions the home, like, if they were born there, how do they understand the money concept, right? Why
Yeah.
do they know that they need it to go out and
Yeah.
purchase things? So we don't know how they learn that. Um,
Probably because Emil talks about his outings.
yeah,
He
maybe he
goes to
tells
different
them.
countries, yeah, and tells
Mm-hmm.
them. So maybe, but
Mm-hmm.
he's the only one that has the access to it. So
Mm-hmm.
he has that control over them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they can't leave because they don't have that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so she finds a $1 bill with a lipstick mark on it.
Oh, yeah.
And she takes that and other money, and so she gets caught. And she just said something like, "Well, I wanna learn."
Mhm.
So that's where he says, "Well, you can come and talk to me every," and they do. Every morning they
Mhm.
talk about, he's trying to kind of
Groom
prepare
her?
her, right?
Groom
Yeah.
her,
I mean,
yes.
really,
I
that's
mean,
what it
that's
was.
kind I
Yeah.
saw that coming.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. How creepy.
Yeah, really creepy. So here, I thought it was really cool what she
Mhm.
said about numbers. She says that they became her favorite task. Numbers didn't care about complicated moral codes. They didn't expect you to reflect, to practice radical self honesty. They were correct or they weren't. That
Mhm.
was the level of clarity I had never experienced before. So, I always say I'm a woman of numbers. I mean, of letters, not numbers. So I just really appreciated the
Yeah.
way that she
Mhm.
explained how numbers are very straightforward as
Mhm.
opposed to, words and letters where
And
you have to be
universal
different.
too, right?
Yes, yes, that is true.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. Universal as well.
Yeah. And she as an adult, she's very well off, right? Because
Hmm.
she does something with the stock market.
Yes.
Doesn't she
Mm. And she'll
purchase?
and she'll explain her
Mhm.
journey to us in this back and forth between the
Mhm.
past and the
Mhm.
present, how she got out, what she
Mhm.
did when she got out, how she'll tell us whether she and Gabriel stayed together or didn't.
Mhm.
Which I guess we already told you, like they hadn't seen each other for a long time, so we'll
But
find out,
why?
yeah, what broke them up eventually. So
Mhm.
stick with us, and we'll tell you
Yeah.
all this stuff. Although we still want you to read the book.
Please read the book.
Yes. We cannot replace the reading of any book.
That's true.
On page 105,
Okay.
I really like this metaphor that talks about Emil and Frida. She says, Emil didn't ask much of his audience of one, just listening, just nodding. He, the sun, and me, the sunflower. I really like that. So
Mm.
he's like feeding her, right? And she's
Giving her
kind of,
energy.
yes,
Mhm.
and she's looking towards him.
Mhm.
She needs his light.
Mhm.
Um, and now we know, like, creepy light, but
Yeah.
she doesn't know that at the time.
No, and
Um,
she's feeling very honored to get all
mhm.
this
Oh,
attention
yeah.
from him, right?
Yeah, out of all the girls,
Mhm.
she's the chosen
She's a
one.
chosen one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So on page, 122,
Mhm.
they get out. They go to the outside. This is when she gets the money, and she, wants to buy the medicine for Gabriel, so they escape. And they meet Joanne at a bar. They stop at a bar. They're really thirsty. And she is the first person from the outside that showed kindness to
Yeah.
them. Most of the time, people were like, oh, those creeps from the cult. So people knew
Knew
about the
about them.
cult,
Mhm.
knew they were able to identify them just by their looks.
Their
That they were, yeah,
clothes.
just
They
how they,
had
yeah.
distinct clothing, not regular
Mhm.
people clothing.
So, if you've been following us, you saw us at a sports bar and we wanted to connect that to this book, right? We imagined the kids
Mm.
stopping by at a bar like that one and Joanne just giving them a soda, the first soda
The
they had
first
ever
soda.
had.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just the little things that we take for granted, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And they would run into her many more times after this because once they got a taste of the
Mhm.
outside,
Mhm.
they wanted to keep going out.
Mhm, mhm, and they would be timed.
Mm,
Gabriel, he kind of borrowed a
mhm,
stopwatch from their PE class
mhm,
to make sure they were back within 20 minutes because that's the time they allotted themselves
mhm.
before, so they wouldn't get caught. So every time it was a little bit longer. It's
Yeah.
almost like they got more comfortable and
Mhm,
were able to do a little bit more.
mhm.
And they were what, 15?
Yeah, they were
So
teens.
imagine teenagers going out there for the very, very first time.
Mhm. To think of the crazy things teens do
Do
nowadays, right? How they, I
Yeah.
mean, that's nothing compared
Mhm.
to this.
Mhm.
So on page 140, Frida asks the question or poses the question. So many things wouldn't have happened if Gabriel had stayed. So the fact that she considers this possibility, like
Mm.
maybe we should have stayed in this cult,
Mm.
maybe things would have been better. And again, you need to stick with us to know what's going to develop in the story. Like, would
Mhm.
they have been better sheltered in that cult if because after they left, like things took a turn
Mhm.
for both of them. Um, and on this same page, we also see the trauma that remains from being in a cult.
Mhm.
So here, Gabriel and Frida are arguing, and she says he reaches for something. I'm not sure what. His hand clips his toothbrush, electric like mine. In the mess of the past 9 years, one thing hasn't changed. Gabriel and I are both obsessive about dental care. We didn't get to see a dentist until we'd both reached the age of 21. By then, our mouths had hatched a litany of problems that would take months and hundreds of dollars we didn't have to fix. So now we don't mess around. So, these little
Mhm.
things that become quirks. Again, they're so scared about, endangering their teeth.
Mhm.
Something that the rest of us just see as a normal, thing.
Mhm.
Every day you brush your teeth and you go to the dentist, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
But for them, it's like, oh no, like teeth are a serious thing.
Yeah,
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 got to take care of them because they had never been to a dentist.
and they had a
Hmm.
lot of dental work done
Yeah.
because of the 21 years that they had
Hmm.
not gone. And of course, when they got out, they were 18, so they couldn't go right away because they didn't have the money.
Hmm.
But at this point, we have learned that as adults, she went to school, he found a job, odd jobs, right?
Hmm.
But he's married. He got
Yeah.
married.
He got
He
married
got
to
married.
a girl that
Annie.
he met through
Mhm.
Frida.
Mhm.
Um, Frida and Annie were classmates,
Mhm.
and she introduced them. And it's almost like Annie fell for Gabriel because he was I
Different.
guess, different, and he seemed like he needed protection, and she wanted
Mhm.
to protect
Well,
somebody.
because she came
Hmm.
from a family, a very wealthy
Hmm.
family, and there's these two siblings that
Hmm.
she knew they came from a cult, but she didn't know their story.
Hmm.
And that was a turning point when she finds out.
Yeah.
But and we go to page 145 and they go back to when Emil is 18. Edwina is at this point
Hmm.
Emil's assistant, right? And she
Hmm.
is older than they are. And one night Edwina goes to Emil or to Frida, gets her out of her room, takes her to his house because he has his own house, right,
Yeah.
separate from them, and he rapes her. And it doesn't sound like she knows like
What's going on?
what's going on because this is new to her. To her, this could be normal. But then it continues to happen where Edwina is holding down her legs.
Hmm.
In essence, he's raping her, right?
Hmm.
And I think at this point is where she's like, this is not normal. This is not okay.
Yeah.
And
And it's I think the girls in this cult are very confused because
yeah.
it's like on the one hand they are chosen by
Mhm.
a meal, right? And that's supposed to be an honor.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, like you said, it doesn't feel right.
Mhm. Mhm.
You're being forced to do something you don't want to do.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
they're very conflicted in terms
Mhm.
of how they're supposed to feel.
And she is also because she knows that there's other girls that have turned 18
Hmm.
have never said anything. So it's almost like it has happened to them, but nobody talks about it
Hmm.
and why.
Even amongst each other, they don't talk
Yeah.
about it.
And she's feeling like, well, why won't anybody tell me?
Hmm.
Like, or kind of warn them,
Hmm.
right? And so it's at that point where she goes to Gabriel and says, we need to get out.
And going back to the difference between cult and community, right? Again, there's all these women that are living there
Mhm.
that have been
Mhm.
together all their lives, but
Mhm.
there's no intimacy. There's no trust. There's no sense of comfort in terms
Mhm.
of going to talking to each other and
Yeah.
confiding in each other.
Mhm.
That just doesn't seem to be happening
No,
in
she's
this.
on her own in
Yeah.
this situation, this
Mm-hmm.
experience of what is happening, what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. It's not
Mm-hmm.
she can feel it. This is not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And who does she trust? Gabriel.
Gabriel.
Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
is the only one to go to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he agrees. At first he was like, "No, we can." And then, "No, we have to.
Yeah.
We have to go." And the next morning, I think it was the next morning they actually go
Mm-hmm.
to his office at night. There was this whole plan. They go and well, we'll get there actually.
You're
What are you on?
next. You're next.
On page
We're confused because a lot of these
a lot of
pages don't
pages
have
don't have
numbers.
numbers. So 51, 50.
Yeah, I'm still
Oh,
caught up.
gotcha. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just put fire pit. So we are here in this undisclosed location where
With a fire pit that's dying, Richard.
there is a fire pit there.
We
There
will
was a
get to
lot
it
of
eventually.
smoke.
Yes.
So there's a fire pit, and because she goes back talking about when Gabriel and Annie had their own place and they were around a fire pit,
Mhm.
and she said, "Let's make s'mores." And they're
Mm.
like, "What?" So she introduces them.
They had never had any. Yeah. Well, I don't know, like, the fire is dying on us, Richard, and you're doing nothing about it.
Are we gonna go turn on the fire? Go put some accelerant there.
We eventually wanna have some s'mores with you guys.
Yes, in honor of Annie, no, Frida and Gabriel
Yeah.
trying their s'mores for the very, very first time as adults.
Yeah,
They never heard of it.
and see, that's the thing, like, you again, you start to wonder, like, the things that you take for granted, right?
Mhm.
That this pair of brother and sister
Mhm.
had not they had a lot of firsts,
A lot of first.
the first visit to the dentist, the
Yeah.
first Coke, the
Mhm.
first, taste of s'mores,
Mhm.
it's just really sad that they were
Mhm.
so deprived of
Yeah.
these little pleasures.
Yes, like
Mhm.
what we like
Yeah.
everyday treat
Yeah.
for us, that was big for them. But before we move on,
Mhm.
so Annie is Gabriel's wife. So we also have learned somewhere before here, Annie's dead,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
and Gabriel was,
Because the husband's always the
because the husband's always the one
always
that did it.
the first one they look at.
Mhm. And they did talk to him 3 times, right? And
Uh-huh.
he's not guilty, so they
Yeah.
let him go. And he
Or at least
moved.
they couldn't prove it.
They couldn't prove,
We
right?
still don't know if he's guilty, like, that's part of the mystery of the book,
Exactly.
right?
And then there's another woman
Mhm.
that is found dead at the resort there. So
Oh, yeah.
it makes you try to collect, oh, 2
Mhm.
women, right? And he once again,
Mhm.
oof,
Oh, yeah, be careful, Richard. Don't set yourself on fire, please.
like Emil, set himself on
Oh
fire
my
here.
god, no, no, don't set yourself on fire. Dear reader,
Uh,
we're a bit concerned about Richard over there. Yeah, let's see. He's okay.
move.
Okay.
Okay, no, there's
Okay, he's
fire
good.
now. Yay.
There's fire. Anyway, so going back to our story, there are two
Mm,
deaths that are mentioned in this
mhm.
book. The death of Annie, wife to Gabriel. Fast forward 20 something years, the death of Sabrina, is that her name?
Sabrina.
Sabrina, uh, she's staying at the resort
Yeah.
where they're at.
Mhm, mhm.
And we find out at some point in the book, maybe we did already, that he and Gabriel and Sabrina had something going on. So of course
Mhm.
now we really
Yeah,
start to
mhm.
think, hey, maybe he did do it. Maybe he did kill his wife back then and got away with it. And now he
Mhm.
killed this girl, which we don't understand why he would kill her, because the husband seems to be the most the person that we think did it, because he actually was physical with her,
Yeah, yeah.
kind of pushed her around
And
and
Frida
yelled
was a
at her.
witness to this,
Yeah,
kinda like,
so it kind of makes sense,
yeah.
but because now we have this backstory,
Mhm.
we're like, well, maybe it was Gabriel, because
Mhm.
they were in a cult, and they never really got therapy, and who
No,
knows,
you're right, they never did.
yeah, at least it's not mentioned in the book
Right,
that they
right.
had any professional help once they exited the cult.
Mhm,
So then we
mhm.
start wondering, maybe, I mean, he seems like a nice guy,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of nice guys out there that do commit murder. So those are all
Mhm.
the questions that we kind of have as we're going through these pages. So that's where we're at.
So I'm on page 1, still
Yeah.
158. Perfect timing.
Mhm.
So Emil would frequently sit them all around this fire pit. Also, they had a fire pit and they
Mhm.
would all sit
Mhm.
around. He was a storyteller. They would all look up at him. And
Mhm.
there was one time, I mean, he's dressed like there was this big coat of something,
Yeah.
right? And it caught on fire. I was laughing when
Well,
I
because he was such a jerk. We shouldn't be
deserved.
laughing.
I was
But we're laughing now again.
because they're like they actually taught them stop,
Yeah.
drop, and roll.
Oh,
Remember that?
yes, that was and they couldn't yeah, so I think that was the funny part, because they had been trained, but somehow they couldn't stop,
They're
him
like
from
they
yeah.
pulled him, but they're like, okay, go to the floor. Now you have to do your own rolling
And they talk about the moms, right? How they were, like, jumping into action, like, to save
to
him, like,
save
they were
him.
all, like
Yeah.
yeah, they were on that.
Yeah. But he was fine. He was fine. It
Mhm,
was only the coat that got burned. He was fine.
mhm,
Nothing happened. And so he continued on with his once upon a time, there was a sick baby girl. So he started telling the story.
mhm.
But, as an adult, Frida remembers, like, I remember that. Like, I read that story at the library once she was able to go to the library. And it's a Grimm's fairy tale. I happen to have this book, you guys.
'Cause she's a reader.
Grimm's fairy tales. And I looked it up. It was the Seven Ravens. And it's it is the exact story, but he's telling it to them like he's the one that came up with the story. So they're all looking at him. But later she's like, "No, it's a Grimm's fairy tale."
Mm.
Yeah, it's almost like his way of
He's
like,
trying to get credit for
mhm.
all the things and all the stories and all.
Yeah, exactly. Because who's gonna question him?
Mhm.
They don't have access to anything. He's the one that had lots of books in his library.
Mhm.
All right. So by this time, when they got out, oh yeah, we don't know yet. So
Mhm.
I'm on um page 164.
Mhm.
This is when they decided we're gonna leave,
Mhm.
we're gonna go. So and it's not like they were locked in because they
Mhm.
obviously had access to go out. They just wouldn't. But
Sorry,
there's more
Richard is
fire.
distracting us with his fire.
There's more fire. Yes.
Yeah.
So the plan is in place. They
Mhm.
go to his office. There's matches. There's a little can of gas,
Yeah.
accelerant, and the plan is to burn down
Yeah.
the
So they
office.
can escape.
Mhm.
I mean, they wanna cover up. I don't think they thought it through.
No.
I don't think their intention was to have anybody die.
Mhm.
They just kinda wanted to create a distraction so that
Mhm.
they could escape and take the money,
Mhm.
because now they know they need money to be in the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it went,
So when she went, that she opened up the wooden box where the money is found and
mhm,
she got all the money and um Gabriel wrapped his fingers around hers,
mhm,
tightened his grip, and said, "It should be you."
mhm,
So, and he didn't have to say why. So I just was justifying the action. So
mhm,
it's almost like it says Gabriel, what did it say? Gabriel intuited it
mhm.
before I did that the only kind of justice I would ever receive was the kind I would make happen for myself. So it's almost if she's putting this accelerant in the office and
Mhm.
Gabriel's throwing the match in, that was her way of kind of getting revenge for
Yeah,
what he has been doing to her. And so, and that reminded me of the title, Our Last Resort.
yeah.
To that, it's almost like that was the only thing they could do to really get out of the
Mhm,
situation that they were
mhm.
in. And they do manage to escape, actually.
Yeah,
They
they
do.
don't know about calling for help, calling the police. They don't know
Right?
about any of
No.
these services, like, it's like,
And he's known
yeah,
around the community. So who's going to
yeah, believe
believe
them.
them?
Yeah, yeah. It's still you, Lee, for some reason.
Still, I mean,
Yes,
so we are
I
back,
was not,
page 167.
mhm,
Yeah, she, page 167, she is in there's the death, Sabrina's death. The cops are investigating. They are not letting them leave. They don't want them to leave because they want to talk to all of them. Gabriel somehow um, is interviewed or just questioned, not really interrogated,
mhm,
because Harris, one of them, goes into his room and says, "Hey, can I talk to you? Can I ask you some questions?" So
mhm,
she kind of steps out to the patio, right?
mhm,
And is listening in, and Gabriel doesn't know that she actually can hear them. And the cop is asking him questions like, "Have you ever had any interactions with her?" And he's like, "No, just," but she kind of says, "No, actually, he did. He
mhm.
bumped into her at the pool on the first
Yeah,
day, or he did leave the dining room when we were eating, and he lied about it." So now
yeah,
she's second guessing him,
yeah,
questioning like, why is he lying about this? And that's where her
mhm,
mind goes, wait a minute. Did he kill his wife? Did he kill this Sabrina
mhm,
stranger woman, right?
mhm,
So she decides to leave. She leaves with what she has, just her phone.
mhm,
That's it. She
yeah.
asks Catalina, I think, the
The hostess
hostess
at the resort, mhm,
to the Ara resort. It's called
mhm,
Ara,
mhm.
and
Oh, that's
to
right,
get
with
her,
me.
yeah, to get her a car to take her to the nearest town. And I think just to get away for a bit, and then she
Yeah,
decides I'm gonna get a room, but she doesn't have money.
mhm.
She Not on her, not physical cash,
Yeah,
right?
it's
She
on her
doesn't have her
phone.
wallet, she doesn't
Yeah,
have anything, but she has her phone.
mhm,
And I just wrote, "Sell
mm,
all our possessions. Can we survive with just
our
our
cell phone.
phone?"
Has it come to that, right?
Can
Yeah,
I mean,
everything's
can it?
there,
Everything is there.
and that's good and that's bad at the same time,
Yeah,
right?
it's like a little
Yeah.
it holds everything.
Well, I remember I saw an exhibit at a museum once, and the things that were in this exhibit were all the things that are in your phone. So they had like a camera, they had a computer, they had an
Mm.
encyclopedia, an album like that
Mhm.
holds your pictures, like
Pictures, that's
all the
so
things that are
funny.
a calendar.
Mhm.
So when you see all these things like,
Yeah.
materially in front of you, you're just
Mhm.
like, wow, that tiny little phone holds all these things. And you don't really think about it, but yeah,
Yeah. And
it's
so
all
what
there.
happens when you lose your phone?
Yeah. And even when we leave it behind, like we're like anxiety ridden, like, oh
Yeah.
no, I cannot leave without my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only thing she takes,
That's the
right?
only thing she
And she
take.
manages to survive the night with
Mhm.
just her phone. So
Yeah.
yes, she leaves.
Because so the woman at the hotel doesn't it only takes cash. So she says, "Go to the ATM." So she goes to the ATM and with just her phone, how
Yeah, she gets
was
her
able
money.
to get cash out?
Mhm.
It was like and
Yeah.
for someone that didn't have anything,
Mhm.
now she has this phone. So I don't know if we already got to it, but at one point they talk about how Gabriel, Annie, and Frida went to the
Mhm.
beach. And I think it was their first time at the beach, right?
Maybe.
It was
Yeah.
their very first
There's a
time,
lot of
and
firsts in the book.
yeah, Gabriel's like, "Yeah, let's go swimming," and
Mhm.
she and Frida stays behind because she's like,
Oh yeah.
"No, my stuff is here," and they're in an area where it's like nobody's gonna steal their
Mhm.
stuff, and Sabrina, not Sabrina, what's her name?
Annie.
Annie reassures her like, "It's fine, no, no," because
Yeah.
when they've had nothing and all they have is their possessions there, she was taking care of that. So it's why I
Again,
was
the
very
trauma,
surprised.
right?
Yeah, her trauma that she brings with it.
Mhm.
But it's like, but she left the hotel without her ID or anything, just her
Mhm.
phone.
Mhm.
That's why
So
it's like,
it doesn't align, right?
no, mm-mm,
Or maybe 20 years later, right? She's
mm-hmm.
adapted a bit better.
And is able to let
Yeah.
go a little bit and be more
Yeah.
comfortable,
Mhm.
or she just want to get out because she didn't trust Gabriel. She's like,
Yeah.
he's lying. I gotta get out.
But she doesn't wanna betray him because that's her brother because,
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
go way back.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she needed that space.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes maybe we do need to do that
Mm-hmm.
and take some space, right?
Yeah.
When
Mm-hmm.
we're going through a crisis like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still you, Lily.
So page 173, um, there was Gabriel grabbed my hand. Together we started walking. I reached in my pocket, found something in there, exactly where I expected it. My fingers closed around it. It had followed me into this new world. So they are calling anything outside of their cult is new world to them.
Mhm.
Everything is a new world because it was new. They were new to everything.
I like the terminology,
Mhm.
the new world, the
Mhm.
outside,
Yeah.
because that definitely puts it in perspective, right? For those of us that are out
This is our normal.
yes, this is our normal. It's not
Yeah.
our new world. It's just our
Yeah,
normal
and
world.
to them it is. It's almost like being born into a completely
Yeah.
different world,
Yeah.
right? And what did she have? She had a single dollar bill the shape of a mouth smeared in lipstick. So she's still carrying around
That dollar bill.
that dollar bill
Mhm.
that she took from Emil. I thought there was going to be more to that, but
And, I don't know if we told you, but Emil did survive the fire, and the one that ended up dying was Edwina.
mhm.
So they did not know that at the time that they ran away, but it's something that they, as well as we,
Mhm.
find out later on in the book.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
stood back and they watched.
The building go into flames.
Yeah, and they watched the mothers carry out a body,
Mhm.
which they thought was Emil,
Mhm.
but later on, maybe a few weeks later, they
Mhm.
saw something. They didn't know what it was, newspaper.
Yeah, newspaper, news, one of those.
Newspaper, and
Yeah.
they saw that it was a woman that died, and
Mhm.
that was Edwina. And then they later found out that he actually so while they were investigating the fire, they found I guess because they had a warrant to go into his paperwork, they found that he hadn't paid taxes in years.
Mhm.
So then Emil went to jail
Mm.
for
Tax
evading
evasion, because that's the real crime here, not that he had a cult and was raping a bunch of girls.
Seriously. So
Come on.
that's where I
Ugh,
yeah,
I
exactly.
can't.
And that's where I was like, "Well, what happened to everybody else?"
Yeah.
And I
We got
think
no
I
closure with
was yeah,
with the
I wanted to
survivors.
know, Clemens, just
Yes.
I just wanted a little bit more of what happened to everybody else and how many were there? We don't know.
Yeah. So, yeah, there
Men
were a
and
lot of
women
we wondered a lot about what happened,
to them.
um, to the survivors of
Mhm,
the cult.
mhm, to the survivors of the
It
cult.
might still be you,
It might
Lily.
still be
Let's
me.
see what page you have.
So this is just more s'mores.
Uh-huh.
So here we are. Oh, this is where they
But what
s'mores.
page is this? Okay, it's me
Oh,
first.
yeah.
Finally, 180. Here we are on chapter 31. They're in New York City, and this is 15 years ago from the day that they're at the resort.
Mm,
And my question was, how do people adjust to society after being in a cult? What support systems are in place? Right? It's
mhm.
just a question I'm throwing out there. So they left and they were on a bench in Central Park. They had been in the city for 4 days. They had, Gabriel and I had each gone to look for work. She says I'd spend the morning trying to train every diner I could
Mhm.
find with help wanted signs, but no one wanted to hire me officially because they were looking for people with experience, but also probably because I had very little idea of how to conduct these
Mhm.
conversations. I was exhausted, hungry, cold, utterly unprepared for the world. So, this is their life for the next couple of days, and eventually they meet a guy that rents him like a storage unit,
Yeah.
and so they live there for a couple of months
Mhm.
until they are able to get
No,
jobs.
2 years. I
And
think they
yeah,
lived in the storage
is
for
it?
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, until they're able to move out, and
And then they live
yeah,
in homeless shelters.
hmm,
Or was it 1 year storage, 2 years homeless shelters? I don't
yeah,
know.
they kept
And
going in and
separated.
out. Hmm.
Separated. She had to go to a women's shelter. He went to a men's shelter, and that was the first time they were separated since they were in the cult together.
Hmm.
And I just realized the reason why she was looking for a job at a diner, I'm gonna assume, is because that's all she's known. Joan, right? Joan is the
Yeah,
one that
from the sports bar.
befriended them, and maybe she thought, well, if she could do that, I can do
Hmm.
that. And she's the one that helped them pretty much escape and told them you can take the train. And they're like,
Oh, that's
what's a
true.
train? They didn't even know what a
Yeah,
train was.
yeah.
So they were going into this new world blind.
Hmm. With
And
no
so
support system.
nothing, nothing. It wasn't until later, I think, when they got their apartment is because they had some kind of housing help of some sort,
And it
right?
seems like Frida was always the most resourceful of the two.
Yeah.
She was the one asking questions. She was the one networking. She was
Hmm.
the one, pushing them both.
And Gabriel went into depression for a good 6 months, and depression and his migraines didn't let him work because of his
Mm-hmm.
migraines. So she's the one that had to two people survive on one income is how she described it once.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a little, hot plate where they would cook in the storage room, and that's how they managed to survive
Mm-hmm.
for I never knew people could live in
Yeah.
a storage. I don't think that was
Right?
legal. I
Well,
think
no,
they
it's
mentioned it's
definitely
not
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 legal.
legal. Um,
Um, but yeah, the fact that they were able
mhm,
to make it work that long.
mhm,
On page 184,
mhm,
um, this is where you mentioned already, Lily, that they found out by reading the newspaper what
mhm.
happened to, she calls it our cult. And that's where they find out that it was Edwina that had died. Um, and then Frida says, Gabriel would never understand it. That thing I shared with Edwina, a dark, confused intuition. I'd hated her, but I'd
Yeah.
also known that we did what Emil asked of us. We, the girls, the women. It would have been so easy to convince myself that in her place I would have been better, that I would have drawn a line, that I would have refused to hold down another girl to pin her to Emil's bed. But I just knew, whatever culpability she held, whatever she had done, if Emil had asked, I would have done it too. So that's something that Gabriel doesn't understand because he wasn't in that situation, but Frida does.
Mhm.
The psychology of a woman that is in captivity,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
It's so easy to judge when you're
Mhm.
not in their
Mhm.
shoes, is what she's saying.
Mhm, mhm. Yep.
So
So I'm 200 something
195.
now.
195.
Mhm.
Um, this is, I think you already saw our post. We mentioned pizza at the
Mm.
sports bar. So where does the pizza idea or mention come from? Page 195. So Annie and Frida are talking about guys. And
This is when they
so,
first met, right?
yes.
Mhm.
And so they go to a pizza joint and they sit down to eat. And then Annie says something to the effect of that guys, or no, it's Frida that says that the type of guys that are in Annie's life are like the pizza that she chooses, which is
Mm.
plain.
Mhm.
She says, fine young men who shared her pedigree, all well mannered, well educated, all unbearably dull. So that's why we asked you, like, what is your pizza type? Because I thought it was a funny
Mm.
metaphor, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
how she compares your choice
Mhm.
of pizza
2 men.
to men. And like we shared then, Lily likes
I
pepperoni.
like pepperoni.
I
Mhm.
like veggies. So whatever, analyze it as you will.
Yeah, exactly.
um,
Is Richard pepperoni?
Richard's pepperoni, apparently.
I'm not pepperoni. Richard is pepperoni. Richard is not.
Let's move along. Yes. Page two, pineapple. That's what Richard likes, pineapple. You
Oh,
like her.
well, does
She
my
likes
wife know this?
she likes
However,
meaty. Me
however, I like pepperoni. That means, does that mean you are pepperoni because we are choosing our pizza by type of men we like,
Yes.
not what you like?
Yes. Yes, Richard. Pay attention,
Pay
Richard.
attention. Totally.
294, but I think my
294.
house, yes, for me, I'm way over there already.
Oh, okay. 217.
Okay.
So this is they're talking about, it's interesting because when they left with nothing. They left with a few whatever they
With
stole,
the
right?
money they stole, that was
Yeah,
it.
and they had nothing
Mhm.
in their possession. So as adults, they had to. How could they work when they don't have social security card?
Yeah, that's
They don't
true.
have a birth certificate. They don't have anything to their name. They can't get a bank account. So, and it was talking about how they actually, whoever was helping them get this, they found a woman who was there when they were born in the cult. She was part of the cult.
Mhm.
I thought there was going to be more about her.
Yeah.
But when she was there, she signed documents pretty much as a witness that they were born on this date and this is their name, right? And so my question is, so when they got this paper or the social security birth, is that's the right or permission to participate in society? Somebody without any of that,
Yeah, you don't
you don't
exist. Like,
do
even though you're,
anything
like, there, you're standing
physically
there,
there. Yeah, yeah.
you're physically there, you're,
Yeah.
you're materially manifested.
Yeah. Yeah, they can touch
You
you.
can be touched, but you don't exist as far as, the
The
government is
government knows.
concerned,
Yeah, you're
right?
not on any computer system, therefore
Mm.
you're no one.
Yeah.
You're nobody.
Mm.
So they had to go through a lot to get the paperwork they needed just to say, yes, you are who
I
you say you are.
exist. Yes.
Yes. And so I just wonder about all these people that if they left the cult
Yeah.
or did they keep going without a meal,
Yeah.
right?
That's
And
true.
there was a
They
new
found a
leader.
replacement,
Mhm.
yeah, for
Mhm.
him.
Because that is the only way they knew how to survive.
Mhm.
Who knows? How sad.
Yeah, it really
Anyways,
is. It's
but it's just a piece of paper defines you.
mhm.
It does. We have to carry our ID.
Yeah.
We can't fly without an ID.
Mhm. Passports.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything that identifies as us. Yes. Wow. And
Still
that's
you.
it. Still me. Still me.
In the 290s, I think. Yeah.
So Annie tells Frida about Edwina.
Mhm.
So
Oh, yeah. You remember? So Annie, uh,
yes,
I think,
yes, I remember now.
Gabriel confesses to her,
Yeah,
right? And, he's drunk.
yeah.
He's guilt-ridden,
Mhm,
and so he confesses what they did, because all this
mhm,
time they had sworn that this was gonna be a secret
mhm,
that they were gonna keep between each other, by I
mhm,
mean, Frida and Gabriel, because
mhm.
obviously society would not understand,
Yeah.
why they caused this fire.
Mhm.
So, Gabriel
And murdered.
confesses, yeah, murder,
Pretty
actually,
much.
yeah.
Yeah, murdered.
Gabriel confesses to his wife,
Not by
and
choice. Oh,
she's like,
they
"What am
almost
I
did.
gonna do with this?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, "What am I gonna do with this information?" And so she talks to Frida,
Mhm.
and she's like, I think I'm gonna go to the cops."
Yeah. When they've had issues, right?
Yeah.
Annie and Gabriel have had issues, and their go-to is Frida,
Mhm.
because that's
Oh,
like the
yeah.
middle person, right? And this one time, she's like calling her early on, and she's like, "Yeah, come over." She's cleaning her apartment because she's
Mm.
like, she's coming over, but she's so distraught because he came home drunk again and
Mhm.
kept talking about this lady, Edwina, Edwina, Edwina. So she did her research.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
She did the research and found out. Uh-oh. Oh, because she kept saying, I killed her, Edwina."
Mhm.
And so she put two and two together and she's like, he keeps saying he killed a
Mhm.
woman.
Mhm.
This is it. This is it. I can't. She
Mhm.
much doesn't want anything to do with him. And so Frida convinces her, like, well, no, go talk to him first. Don't,
Mhm.
right? And she said, I'm going to go on a run tomorrow and then I'll go to the cops.
Mhm.
And Annie knows, no, Frida knows that Annie likes to go run somewhere where there's a nice waterfall and stuff like that.
I would like to see that.
That's
Must be a
pretty.
very pretty place,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then Annie gets the idea, right? That,
I
you
mean,
know
really premeditated for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So this
Yes.
time it's a premeditated
Mm-hmm.
murder, because she's like, if Annie goes to the police with this, like, that is it for them.
Mm-hmm. For them.
They will go to
Mm-hmm.
jail.
Mm-hmm.
So she,
What's her last resort?
yeah, another last resort,
Another
right?
last resort for them.
She, without telling Gabriel. Yes,
Correct.
Gabriel does not know. She goes to where she knows Annie will be,
Mm.
and she just pushes her. She's
Mhm.
like she's actually shocked after she does it, like, it was so easy to just go
Yeah.
like that, and
And
then
she
just
planned
follow.
it because she rented a car.
Mhm.
She rented a car, went to this place, waited for her to come around and just, whoop,
Just pushed her, and then and
and that
that's
was
it.
it.
And so Annie was missing for a long time, and
2 weeks, they found her 2 weeks later.
they blamed the husband, and he didn't know. He never knew until much later. He
Mhm.
knew that it was,
Well, she does
when
tell
she
him.
does confess.
She does tell him like, "Hey, I have something to tell you,"
Mhm,
and he gets upset.
mhm,
He gets upset because he's in the middle of this. They're trying to pin this Sabrina murder on him,
mhm.
and now and Frida would tell him like, "I trust you. I believe in you. I know you didn't kill your wife." Well, she knew
Well,
because
duh,
she's the one that
'cause
did
she's
it.
the one that did it.
Yeah, exactly, and she did it because she, in her mind, she's protecting them from going to
Mhm.
jail.
Yeah. She's protecting both of them,
She's
not just
protecting, yeah,
herself.
mhm, she's protecting them from
Mhm,
going to jail,
mhm.
and that was a big plot twist that I did
Yeah, I think
not
that was the biggest shocker
expect.
for me too.
I was
Yeah,
like, "Wait, what?"
yeah, that she had done that.
Yeah, again, to survive.
Yes, yes. Um,
So Frida killed Annie. Yes, right there. That was, so
oh,
that's,
yeah, so I have a couple more.
oh, yes, okay, because
So
there's more
on
to this.
yes, so on page 294, um, the fable. There's a fable that Frida tells us about. I'm trying to remember where in the storyline we are. So I'm just going to read about the fable, and that might
Mm,
remind us of
mhm,
why this caught my eye. So she says, "There's a fable I hate, the one about the scorpion and the frog. A
mm.
scorpion asks a frog to carry it across a river. The frog agrees. The scorpion hops on the frog's back. While they're in the water, the scorpion stings the frog, condemning them both to death. When the frog asks the scorpion why it did it, the scorpion's excuse is essentially because I'm a scorpion, and this is what scorpions do. It's also flat. Scorpion has no morals. Scorpion has no choice. Scorpion stings. She says, I was never a scorpion. Whatever I am, I became. So she's trying to say that the things that she's done are for a reason. She doesn't just kill just because she kills. She
Well,
killed,
she's trying to justify.
yes, because she needed to survive. She became that because of the circumstances,
Mhm,
because of what was going on in her life, because she was trying to survive.
mhm,
So she's justifying.
mhm,
She's
mhm.
not the scorpion. And this is her confessing to Gabriel, right?
Well, she, yeah, I think she already
Yeah.
confessed to him.
Mhm.
So by this point, we already know what happened to
Mhm.
Sabrina. She decides to take it upon herself to go and investigate. Anyways, it was a lot. So she thinks like, oh, they arrest Gabriel
Mhm.
for the murder of Sabrina because she had already rummaged through his backpack and she found a butterfly clip that belonged to Sabrina in
Mhm.
his, she found it in his backpack. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, he did it." Right? Like something happened. Why do you have a
Mhm.
butterfly clip? But then they arrested him because they found a rock, a bloodied rock
Yeah. That
in
was
his
planted
backpack.
in his backpack.
Yes, and she's like, "That wasn't there." Because when I went through it, that wasn't there. So she knew somebody's trying to frame him.
Mhm.
And so she figures the only logical person that could
The
have done it is a
husband.
husband.
Mhm.
So she's like, "Wait, what was she wearing?" Or, there's nowhere he can plant any evidence. There's no dumpsters because the Ara resort is not going
Mhm.
to have dumpsters around. Or it's like, but wait, they had sent a car to me. So she knows there's a garage somewhere and that they have a car also. She
Mhm.
finds a way to get into this garage. She finds a way. Okay, she broke the window.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where she found the evidence, the bloodied clothes.
Yeah, they found the
The
bloody, like, white button-down shirt full
Mhm.
of blood, and then eventually William
Mhm.
confessed to the murder. So
Mhm.
they let Gabriel go. They go on their separate ways, and there's an email. I think after the last posted, there's an email that he sends her and says, "Should we go back?" And she said, "Where to?" And then to Utah. So they do end up going back
Mhm.
to where the cult location was, and there's
Mhm.
nothing there. Obviously, everything's
Yeah,
burnt
it's all
down.
charred up. Mm.
Yeah, and so um, and he, what does he tell her? Like, he also, that's where I think he gets mad at her initially
Mhm.
when she comes out to him and says, "Hey, I killed Annie
Yeah.
because this and the other." when they were there at Utah now together, he started crying and sobbing. It's almost like that's the first time he broke down and said,
Mhm.
"I would have done the same thing.
Mhm.
If it wasn't you, it was gonna be me," because he was trying to protect them
Mhm.
again.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like they had closure together.
Mhm.
The book ends with them. He does move closer to her, I think, right? He leaves Seattle and moves
Um,
closer to her.
let me share a couple of
Mhm.
notes, and then we will conclude.
Mhm.
On page, geez, they don't have pages on these things.
Yes.
296. Um, I really like this
Mm.
metaphor. It says a time-bending force. Two kids grasping at the future, two adults wrapped in the tight vines of their pasts. It's love in the end. Love is the scorpion.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, love, you just do it because it's love. Whatever you got
Mhm.
to do, you do it because of love.
Mhm.
So I thought that was an interesting twist to how that
Mhm.
that fable
Mhm.
was not talking about people. It was talking about the things that love makes you do.
Mhm.
And then on page 289, like you said, we're like at the epilogue already. The last lines of the novel.
Mhm.
That is what we've become, what we always were. The only thing we ever knew how to be, a family. So the way I interpret it is the cult evolved, right? Um, in the sense that they have this bond
Mhm.
that even though they are removed from the cult,
Mhm.
in a way, the cult is still inside them. And again, we mentioned earlier, right? There was no healing for them. There was no therapy. There was no
Mm-mm.
professional help. So clearly, like I said, the cult evolved.
Mhm.
They became murderers. I mean, let's call it what it
Yeah,
is.
they
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 became
mhm.
killers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and they are getting away with it.
And they're getting away with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So and she does tell him at the end because they are meeting up again to do this documentary. They did reach out to them and they
Hmm.
agreed to both sit down and do the documentary. And she, because they want to talk about Annie, I think, because there was
Hmm.
this big thing with Annie because he was a person of interest. And she tells him, if you tell them that I did it, go ahead, tell them like I'll be okay. I kind of like I deserve the consequences.
Hmm.
And who knows? I don't think he will because that's family right there.
Hmm.
That's the only family they knew.
Yeah.
They
Each
were
other.
each other.
Hmm.
So, yes,
That's it.
it's a wrap. Here's our discussion.
Yes. It was, as
Um,
always, we always learn something new when we read our
yes,
books. So,
definitely. It takes us down
mhm.
some research and yeah.
So until next time, dear reader,
Yes.
looking forward to talking about Marilyn Monroe with you.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
Oh, the s'mores.
We'll try them right now. Yeah.
But and yes,
Yeah.
Richard will record us somehow, some way. Even if we go to the stove and
Yes, we got to have some s'mores
yeah,
in
cool.
honor of Gabriel, Annie,
Yeah,
and
and
Frida.
Frida
In the
are
meantime, we'll work on the wine bottle.
yes.
Bye.
If you want to hear more from us, like and subscribe
Yes,
us,
please
please,
don't
and
forget, because
give
don't forget like we do. Like us and subscribe us. And we're
and
looking forward to your comments.
suggest
Yes.
any books we will try and get to them because we do have a
Yes.
long
Our
list.
list continues to be at 40.
I love
It
that.
doesn't change even though we're reading.
We just keep adding to it.
Yes. Yes.